When you start a business, you should book your 1 month trip after a year or two, because otherwise you would never do that. So in the beginning, we couldn't travel. Magnus always says, like a baby, you have to take care 24 hours. But we went to this mode to hire better people, put more money up front, so we could have a management team to carry the business.
I would say for us, or from, obviously I can't speak for my wife, but I can speak for myself. Travel is something that came into my life after I had a tragedy when I was a young man, and I wanted to get more out of life. And I got this urge to see something more of the world. I had very low aspirations. Nobody in my family had ever gone to university. And we were all kind of blue-collar people, and something changed, and I wanted to do more and see more, and I got more drive, and I started traveling, went around the world. I'd never left Iceland ever, and left and came 7 months later after having traveled to 15 countries. It was the first trip abroad, and it's a bug that bites you, and you can never get rid of that disease. Once that bug is in your blood, it stays forever.
That travel bug.
But I think, living in different countries and living under different cultures, it makes you adaptable. So you have to adapt to where you live. You have to change how you speak. You have to even change your language. You have to learn the culture of the place where you go to. And I think that adaptability also helped us a lot in our business.
Oh, that's great. And you've been to how many countries now yourself?
I have traveled to, I believe, 81 different countries, and I've lived in 5 different countries.
Wow. And how about you, Karin, from the travel perspective?
56 countries, and I lived a year in London, so London, United States, and Brazil. Yeah.
Wow. And with the first dates were, I think you were telling me,
7 different countries, yes.
Yeah. So maybe a little bit outside the story of leadership, many, many years ago, I was at an international conference, and I'm standing in a lobby in a hotel. And it sounds like a scene from a Hollywood movie, because that's how it was. And I see the door open, I'm in the lobby with other people, and in walks this stunning woman. And she looks me dead straight in the eye and smiles this beautiful big smile, this smile here. And I go all like this, and then she walks straight past me and greets the person behind me. And that was the spark. And that's when everything started, and we started dating and dated remotely, and our 7 first dates were in 7 different countries. Wow. Which is pretty neat to think about that.
That's incredible. So yeah, I mean, born and lived in multiple countries, speak multiple languages. Your first dates were in 7 different countries. You've traveled to collectively, well over 100 different countries. You've got your home base in Seattle, Washington, where you have this, unique home service business of all things. It's like if someone were describing it, they would think that those two don't go hand in hand, and yet your approach and I guess the way you view the values of the business has allowed you and afforded you the opportunity to sort of live your passions while then also continuing to travel. Most business owners, myself included in the early days, become sort of almost connected to and tied at the hip to the business, to the point where travel just seems like overwhelming or daunting. And I think, as I read early on in our business, an aspiration is to get your business systemized to a point where you could walk away from it for a month, maybe even a year, and come back and it's still functioning, still profitable. So talk about how you've been able to do that. You take these long trips throughout the year. The business is still growing every year. You're able to plug back into the business and then, separate to go continue your travels and your passions. So what's been the key to putting those in place? Because I think that's very aspirational and admirable for many business owners, not just in our franchise.
Yeah. I heard once a story, I don't know if it was in College Hunks, that when you start a business, you should book your 1 month trip after a year or two. Yeah. Because otherwise you would never do that. So in the beginning, Magnus can speak more about that. We couldn't travel. Magnus always says, like a baby, you have to take care 24 hours. So, but when you have, we went to this mode to hire better people, put more money up front, so we could have a management team to carry the business. So we start going back to what we love the most is travel. What builds you memories, and when you go back of your memories in years, you just remember like these moments that bring you emotions. So that's when we start after 3-4 years starting doing shorter trips. And now last year we did a 6-week trip to Africa.
Wow.
We visited 7 countries. I think Magnus can talk more about that.
Yeah, it's about putting people in positions that are able to run the company. So we've been working over the past 2-3 years, to make ourselves redundant. I think I've been more successful than Karin on that front.
What you say is you're replaceable. She's irreplaceable.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what I'm saying. There is going to be nobody taking over Karin's job. That has to be split between many people. When the time comes, he's not going to be there. But yeah, it's about having people that can actually, make good decisions.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's all about in the end. People making, the best decisions based on the data they have at any given time.
Yeah, I always say, we want team members that we can empower to make decisions as if they own the company.
Yeah.
And to be able to ask themselves, when they make a decision, is it good for the company? Is it good for the client? And is it ethical and in line with the core values? And if they can, and am I willing to be held accountable to the decision, of course, because a good leader should be willing to be held accountable to the decisions they make, even if it's not the right one.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll learn from it